Words cannot describe how fascinating the Russell Brand story is. Fascinating on more levels and at more viewpoints and vantages than anything you can imagine. It deals with the presumption of innocence. It deals with the notion of how do you handle damage, damage control. What do you say? What don't you say? How likely is it that accusations of this sort are made without any indication, any showing, any uh, indications of truth? I mean, how likely is it all of a sudden for you to have these cases involving these women, albeit anonymous, who claim some pretty scurrilous stuff, up to and including sexual battery in one particular case, and a dalliance with not an underage woman technically, but somebody who is young? What does he do? What does he not do? And most importantly, what people are saying is this a retaliation on the part of either the shadow government, the whoever? What is this really about? How do you be fair? How do you maintain your incredulity and your skepticism as to this horrible, rank, dank, and fetid world that we live in? We're going to be discussing that. My friends, I say welcome aboard to Lionel Nation. Please, if you could and you would, brighten my northern sky, as the great Nick Drake would intone. But also, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And let me also remind you of our great sponsor, our friends at My Patriot Supply. If you go to preparewithlionel.com, you can take advantage of an introductory bonus, an introductory sale on emergency food kits. You could save $200 off of a 3-month emergency food kit by going to preparewithlionel.com. We're talking something with a 25-year shelf life. 21 varieties of breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, drinks, the most incredible cornucopia and melange of food that is good for up to 90 days, 3 months. 2,000 calories a day. This can't be put together by dry pasta and spaghetti sauce. I'm sorry, no offense. Preparewithlionel.com. Food shortages, food emergencies are coming. Not if, when. Be prepared right now and take advantage of this incredible bonus. Just go look right now. $200 off a 3-month emergency food kit. Join the countless numbers of great Americans and patriots who realize that food shortages and food emergencies are coming, and now is the time to get ready. Preparewithlionel.com. You will be so thankful you did. Now, my friends, I must tell you right now, right off the bat, I am a lawyer by profession, and I believe in the Constitution. And even though Mr. Brand does not live in a country, I don't believe, that has our Constitution, the notion of presumption of innocence means something, meaning that Mr. Brand does not have to prove anything, whether he is guilty or not, whether everything and more that they say he did, assuming this under rational thinking. He doesn't have to answer anyone and should not. What I'm hearing him doing, what I'm hearing him say, what I'm hearing repeatedly throughout the course of this is his attempting to do a kind of a preemptive strike where he goes out and he starts waxing vapid about, well, there were periods of time where I was promiscuous, and don't. So what you just did is you're, in essence, giving credence to theoretically the subject matter. You don't admit to anything. And let me just say something. Anybody who avails themselves of living a lifestyle, living in a world where you victimize women, children, men, anybody, they're loathsome in my book. That is in this category. Sexual battery, bad. Unwanted, unwarranted, uninvited sexual promiscuity is bad. That's over here. I'm not arguing that. The other category is that he has the right to have this case made against him. And when I hear anonymous sources, anonymous, I think, wait a minute, hold it. You see, we start to form opinions. And what people say is, well, if there's smoke, there's fire. You don't think that these esteemed media types would come up with this unless there was something there? Certainly there's got to be, where there's smoke, there's fire. That's the scariest stuff there is. Let me give you the example of Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein was guilty of a variety of a cacophony of horrors. However, the way they got him was, I couldn't believe it. Similar fact evidence where they brought in women to say, well, listen, I never brought any charges, and this was way past the statute of limitations, but he did some terrible things to me in the past too. And the jurors say, well, if he did that, he must have done this. Oh, no. Better to let 1,000 guilty people go than to convict an innocent person. This is Oliver Wendell Holmes or Oliver Wendell Douglas, Green Acres, whatever you like. Now, personally speaking, so that you understand something, I'm not saying this because I'm a Russell Brand fan. I'm not. I think he's the most lackluster, overrated, no shisa commentator, and it's good. He brought the normies on board and whatever it is, so that you understand something. I'm not a Russell Brand fan. Okay? See, I'm able to look at things and say, wait a minute, I'm not a fan. Just like I can say things that I think President Trump has done that's stupid. And I happen to like a lot of what he's done. So my allegiance to a cause, to a person, or my dislike of someone has nothing to do with my ability to weigh the facts and to assess the level of due process that is accorded Mr. Brand. I would tell him, and keep this in mind, shut up. You have no idea how many times people have closed holes in investigations because they didn't know what to say. Oh, they want to cooperate. Oh, I want to cooperate. You want to cooperate? You want to cooperate with people who want to destroy you and who are not necessarily interested in having all of the facts? How do you know anything of the women? And they are not to be in any way bullied or sullied. This, there is the rape shield law, at least in theory, applies. But how do you know that some or all or one or two were completely irresponsible, completely unbelievable, completely impeachable in terms of their testimony, their motivation, their desires, what they wanted to do? How do you have any earthly idea of these people's backgrounds? No. How trustworthy is his testimony? Was anything promised? Were there deals made? Is there litigation that is pending? We don't know anything. He doesn't know anything. That's why when he is being the subject of this, he's got to keep his mouth shut if he's smart. If he doesn't, if he just wants to start yapping away, go ahead. But I guarantee you, he is going to cinch the case. He is going to close particular evidentiary holes that would not have been closed had he just shut his mouth. There may be questions as to whether he was in a town at the time with victim X. They don't know, but they go ahead and they float it anyway. And then he comes along and he says, well, that was a different time. I was promiscuous. Oh, so you know her? So you were there? There we go. Thank you. He is under no obligation to say anything. Now, that notwithstanding, Let me also throw something out at you, which people don't really understand, and I don't understand either. What is with this lunacy today? Have you heard? And there were portions of his comedy in which he was laughing about spitting on women as a means of heightening expression during sexual congress. It's like this Andrew Tate fascination that people have had. This is the most despicable, vile person who also is subject to due process considerations. But I don't understand this. I don't understand. Maybe it's the fact that we live in a world right now where the idea of respect, of sexual expression has been so convoluted and so contaminated by virtue of this weird radical left, everything from trans, crypto, gendered, kids being assailed, kids being violated, kids being told that there's no such thing as men and women and drag queens, where everything up to and including respect and boundaries have been completely occluded. I don't want to get too much into this, but that's another aspect of this. But irrespective of whether Mr., and I'm saying this again, irrespective of whether he is guilty or not, whether he did terrible things or not. And by the way, you will see him, much like Hunter Biden, use his drug-addled ways to perhaps explicate away his, for lack of a better word, his bad behavior. You'll hear that. So let me recap this. Let me recap all of this. Do I believe that there is an absolute aspect of the allegations made against him that are made to silence him and to pay him back for being perhaps an advocate of those ideas which are not in any way approved of by the radical left, by the woke left, by the shadow government? Absolutely, that plays an absolute critical part in the motivation and the celerity and the ferocity and the ostensible limpidity of the charges that are advanced thereupon. Okay? But there's more to it than that. But as we sort this out, Mr. Brand, I suggest to you that you take my unsolicited advice and shut up. If they want to make allegations against you, they have the right. Let them. Let them. And ask yourself, what is the purpose of this? Is there a lawsuit pending? Is there litigation pending? Is there a criminal prosecution pending? And if not, why am I addressing this? How do I benefit by addressing this? That is not to in any way countenance what he's done or approve what he's done, but in terms of merely dealing with the issue. How does this benefit what you're doing? We'll be talking more about this. Believe me when I tell you that. And I thank you for watching. And also, dear friends, let me remind you, please, you can save $200 off a 3-month emergency food kit in this introductory sale special. I don't know how long this is going to last, by going to preparewithlionel.com. Please, for you and for your family, start now storing up, getting ready for the food emergency, which will absolutely occur. When? I can't tell you, but it'll happen. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. Please do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, and please comment as you see fit.